Over the years, the sport of boxing has seen many heavyweight stars from Britain take to the ring and make a name for themselves on a global scale. Nowadays, Britain's heavyweight stars are among some of the most marketable names in the sport. Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury have ruled the roost for much of the last decade. However, as the only Brit to currently hold a world title, IBF heavyweight champion Daniel Dubois is rapidly establishing a stellar legacy of his own. 1. Lennox Lewis. Boxing record, 41-2. Lennox Lewis' stinging jab, devastating right hand and the ability to use them effectively made him one of the best heavyweights of all time. Despite slipping up twice, getting knocked out by Oliver McCall in 1994 and Hasim Rahman in 2001, Lennox came back more focused and determined and was able to avenge both setbacks by stoppage. He also drew with fellow Hall of Famer Evander Holyfield in 1999, but most observers thought Lewis was robbed in that clash. Notably, in their rematch just 8 months later, Lewis outpointed his American rival comfortably. On top of that, he sensationally knocked out Mike Tyson as well as defeating Vitaly Klitschko in 2003. Potentially realizing that he was starting to fade, Lewis retired from the sport as a champion, an achievement that few in history have emulated. 2. Tyson Fury. Current boxing record, 34-1. Ahead of the biggest fight of a generation against Usyk, Tyson Fury had an unbeaten record. The Gypsy King came away from the contest with his first defeat, but that should not detract from his pedigree as a fighter. Fury is one of the most feared men in the sport of boxing and was outstanding in his displays against Deontay Wilder and Dillian Whyte from 2020 to 2022. The 6 feet 9 inches giant used his remarkable athleticism and ring acumen to end long-reigning champion Vladimir Klitschko's run as heavyweight champion by a wide decision in 2015, a result which rocked the whole of the sport. He then took nearly 3 years off due to personal issues outside of the ring, but came back and ultimately dethroned Wilder for the WBC Heavyweight Championship. 3. Bob Fitzsimmons. Boxing record, 61-8. Bob Fitzsimmons had a curious physique for a professional boxer, appearing thick on top with spindly legs, but had great success between the modern divisions of welterweight through heavyweight. He won the heavyweight title in 1897, becoming only the third man to hold it in the modern era. He conquered champion James J. Corbett by 14th round KO, despite being outweighed by 15 pounds. When he eventually lost the title to James J. Jeffries 2 years later, he was outweighed by as much as 39 pounds, a startling fact that underlined his bravery to compete at the top of the pile, let alone succeed. Fitzsimmons remains the lightest man to hold the heavyweight title, a record that could not be broken today due to sanctioning rules. 4. Anthony Joshua. Current boxing record, 28-4. Anthony Joshua. While he may have lost 4 of his last 10 fights, Anthony Joshua's contribution to British boxing as a whole in recent years can't be overstated. Arriving on the professional scene with a bang after winning gold at the 2012 London Olympics, AJ won his first 20 bouts by knockout, regularly headlining sold-out stadium shows as he defended his unified World Heavyweight Championship. The wheels briefly came off for Joshua after he was stopped by Andy Ruiz Jr. at Madison Square Garden in 2019, although he would avenge that defeat a short time later. The Watford-born slugger couldn't get the better of the brilliant Alexander Usyk across the 24 rounds that they shared in the squared circle, though, and recently suffered his most brutal setback to date after being knocked out by Daniel Dubois and now finds himself at a crossroads in his career. 5. David Haye. Boxing record, 28-4. The fighter from London would only see the judges' scorecards 3 times in his 32-fight career, with it often being a quick night at the office for Haye wherever he was in the ring. A 16-year professional boxing journey for the Hayemaker would see him earn 9 first-round knockouts. He would retire in 2018 after back-to-back bouts with fellow British fighter Tony Bellew. Haye was well renowned for his ability to quickly end fights during his prime. Haye was one of the best cruiserweights of all time and enjoyed a lot of success at heavyweight. He made the transition from 200 pounds to heavyweight in 2008, stopping Monty Barrett in 5 rounds to set up a title shot against towering titleholder Nikolai Valuev the following year. The Brit outboxed the 7-footer from Russia to win a majority decision in a portion of the heavyweight championship. After losing the title to Vladimir Klitschko following 2 defenses, Haye returned to score 3 knockout wins, before retiring in 2018, following his 2-fight skid against Bellew. 6. Henry Cooper. Boxing record, 40-14. Henry Cooper is best known for seriously hurting a young Muhammad Ali with a vicious left hook in the 4th round of their Wembley Stadium contest in 1963. Unfortunately for the Brit, Ali recovered and won the following round and extended his unbeaten streak. Cooper also lost to Ali in his only world title fight 3 years later. That said, on the regional scene, he was a British legend. The Englishman was a British heavyweight titleholder for more than a decade, which remains a record. His victories over the likes of Zora Fali and Karl Mildenberger mean he deserves to be fairly high up in the top 10, but just misses out on a spot in the top 5 after failing to win a world title. 7. Daniel Dubois. Current boxing record, 22-2. Following his knockout defeat by Alexander Usyk in August 2023, Dubois looked well out of world title contention, but has since embarked on a run that has seen him score 3 consecutive stoppage wins and become the IBF heavyweight champion. While his victories over Jarrell Miller and Filip Hrgović were impressive, his 5-round demolition of Anthony Joshua at Wembley Stadium in front of 98,000 fans was career-defining. The reigning world champion may now get the chance to challenge for undisputed honors in the division next year and could become the first Brit ever to achieve the feat in the 4-belt era. Such has been his recent form that it would be unwise to rule it out. 8. Frank Bruno. Boxing record, 40-5. It's fair to say that Frank Bruno is one of the most popular figures in British boxing history because of his cheerful and playful personality and creditable record in the ring. After turning pro in 1982, the Brit knocked out his first 21 opponents before enduring some low moments. He famously failed in 3 attempts to win a world title between 1986 and 1993. Despite those major setbacks, he kept going, and, at 3-3 he outboxed Oliver McCall to win a decision and take home the heavyweight world championship. Despite losing the final fight of his career against Mike Tyson, Bruno sits as a legend of the sport in the British Isles. 9. Joe Bugner. Boxing record, 69-13. Most notably, Joe Bugner holds triple nationality, originally being a citizen of Hungary and a naturalized citizen of both Australia and the United Kingdom. He had a long career that was divided by extended hiatuses, and he always came to fight. Bugner had considerable success as he won the European, Commonwealth and British titles. He's best known for his 3 fights in the 1970s against Muhammad Ali, twice, and Joe Frazier. Despite being unsuccessful in all 3 outings, he was still able to go the distance in each fight. The showdown with Ali in 1975 was his only shot at the title. Bugner's biggest victory was, without a doubt, his close decision victory against fan favorite Henry Cooper in 1971, ending Cooper's run as British heavyweight champion. 10. Bruce Woodcock. Boxing record, 35-4. During the peak of his powers, Bruce Woodcock was a perennial contender and ended up on the cover of the Ring magazine in 1945 before retiring 5 years later. Unfortunately for the Yorkshireman, he never got a crack at the world title. After impressing in his first 25 fights on the regional scene, the Brit traveled to the United States to face American contender Tammy Moriello in 1946, losing by a 5th-round knockout. The rest of Woodcock's career saw him predominantly fighting in the UK, with 1 contest in South Africa. He ended up winning European, Commonwealth and British championships before losing back-to-back fights against Lee Savold and Jack Gardner in 1950 before calling it a day. His success on the regional scene and his knockout power in the ring are why he sits 9th on our list.